Today I'm watching Watchmen episode 9. It is the series finale. It's a limited series, so I'm very curious to see how it all comes to an end. Episode 8 was insane. We learned a lot about Dr. Manhattan, his backstory, how he met Angela. He was killed off at the end of the last episode as well with this thing that the cavalry had created, so I'm very curious to see if he is in fact dead. That's what he predicted, you know, as soon as he met Angela. He said he's going to end in tragedy, so I don't have high hopes for his character, but I'm very curious to see what this would look like without him in it, what Lady True is up to, what Laurie is doing, what Wade is up to. So it's really been an interesting show so far. I've really enjoyed it, so I'm very curious to see how it all ends. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content.
All right, action.
To have the final one a film slate, that's interesting. They're always so creative with the intros.
Allow me to be amongst the very first to say congratulations, President Redford.
Yeah, will we ever get to meet President Redford? These cue cards.
Because I didn't predict it. I planned it.
Of course he would say action to his own videos. He's directing them, yeah. Ramses II. Maybe not. Vials of something else that she just replaced with lotion. Is this how she recreates her parents? Adrian has done some very horrible things, and oh my. Oh my. Again, another egg reference with the yolk. That's what I thought was happening. I didn't want to go there, but here we are, yeah.
Fuck you, Ozymandias.
Yep, that's fair. With Adrian's sample,
What? And you may certainly not use my restroom. Good day.
You killed
Real hospitable. Oh, yep, busted.
a giant alien squid to stave off nuclear.
Of course she thinks it's amazing.
And no one even gives you credit for it.
He's like, oh, in that case, yeah, I did. It was totally me.
I wanted to thank you for saving it.
Would you care for some tea?
He's like, you know what? Change your tone. Come on in. Let's chat. You seem cool.
Cowboy actor could attain the presidency.
Cowboy actor. I haven't seen a ton of Robert Redfield's films.
This is truly amazing, Mr. White. But it's a rerun.
She's like, you've done this before. What else are you working on?
For any kind of pattern. I believe the actual Dr. Manhattan is hiding out on a moon of Jupiter.
Yep, she is the smartest woman.
Photo images of the big blue cheese himself and beaming them back here to me.
Seems like a lot of effort just to be.
Oh, that's who it was. Okay, I was wondering. Yeah, he timed it perfectly. Interesting. She'll get the photos.
So, I was hoping you would stake me $42 billion.
No big deal. Just a drop in the bucket.
Because I'm your daughter.
Yes! So was her mom in there? Oh my god. Wow, 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 wow.
It's impossible.
He's like, well, my mom helped herself to your samples.
I'm sample 2346.
Oh my. Otherwise known as Lady True.
But you can call me True.
He's like, I'm gonna need a minute. I'm gonna need to sit down. What did he wish for? Of course, gold and purple are the most royal colors you can wear, yeah. Oh, his horseshoe! He's finally dug himself out! His own version of Shawshank.
I must make you do it.
Stop!
No,
Stop!
I will not.
Oh God! I was like, how is this game gonna end? Cheese and rice. He caught the bullet with his hand? Whoa! Bye.
You go! I will not let you go!
Beating him into oblivion, he'll stay. Ooh! The horseshoe! Oh, what an unfortunate twist of fate. Supposed to be lucky, unless she gets stabbed with one.
Because masks make men cruel.
Interesting concept for a series about vigilantes who wear masks. Yeah, we knew he was one of the first lake babies.
Having a worthy adversary helped keep me sane.
He was just bored. He just created this opponent out of boredom. Oh my gosh. He's just playing a part. It was just acting.
Godspeed.
And it's interesting how John created the image of these two people who had taken him in a time of need when he needed protecting, and then he gives them to Adrian, who treats them like garbage, basically. Oh, he wrote "Save me, daughter." Ah, okay, we could only see "Save me." Well, he broke his promise. He said he would never call her daughter.
Has begun to prevent dehydration, starvation, and potential insanity.
All things you want to avoid.
Please.
Why this pose? So he looks like a superhero? Oh my gosh. Good night. That's the statue? She killed Adrian? Blasted him with gold? Oh my god. We know we saw a statue looking exactly like that earlier.
I'm your mother.
She knows. She figured it out. Oh my gosh. Oh, I definitely thought he was dead. Just this gold dripping off Adrian, like, what a perfect way to have him just, like, for someone who enjoys being idolized, have him forever be trapped as a statue.
It must have been hard to completely cave, to humble yourself like that.
Yeah, that's Adrian, all right. Real humble.
Absorb his power in about an hour.
What?
He's like, I just got here? You're already doing this?
Wrong with what I'm wearing.
I thought these were more appropriate for a man your age.
Oh my. Calling him old already. She's like, you might remember me when I was older.
The Millennium Clock is now activated. All new team personnel, please.
Oh no, 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 no. What does that mean? She said she would, and she seems like she's always true to her word.
Let's roll out, shall we?
Casually puts on a hat. It's like, you know what? Let's go wrap this up. Let's go get this Dr. Manhattan guy. Of course they're playing Oklahoma. I feel like we saw that newsstand guy before. The very first episode with the squids, if I'm remembering correctly.
See you in the flesh.
Well, take a good look. This is the last time I'll be in it.
That's ominous. Because they're gonna end the world? This is the last time I'll be in this flesh. It is a great hat. She kind of looks like Lady Liberty.
You know who you look like?
No, tell me. Everybody thinks happened to him?
Oh, nobody cares. He goes to 10 years ago. Man's old news.
That's his worst nightmare, is that nobody cares about him anymore.
The end is nigh.
I feel like he's right about that. Oh my gosh, we get to see this thing actually activated, which is terrifying.
We got a situation. What do you mean we got a situation?
I like how they have the scenes overlap or shown from a different angle throughout the series. So cool.
Who's the cage for?
Damned if I know.
Take the shot.
I feel like they're gonna put Dr. Manhattan in the cage. Yeah, they're gonna transport him and put him here. Yeah. I couldn't believe he actually had died. He's way too powerful. And yeah, that's exactly what he did. And Laurie's gonna lose her damn mind to see Dr. Manhattan again.
You blew. I got you.
Laurie's gonna be like, you've been ignoring my calls for 10 years. Oh, bonked him.
Where is he? You can't stop it. We've got him.
She's gonna try her best. I'm so glad he's still alive. Oh my gosh.
That makes no sense at all, because I just saw mine. Half hour before he drove off to shoot some cops here in Tulsa, so I said...
Of course he knew about it. Of course he was involved with White Knight.
Being in the world, incognito, delivered unto us right here in Oklahoma.
Shoot, that was his giveaway. Dang it. He's just trying to protect Angela.
Now, it is time to melt him down.
That's so messed up. Oh my god. This is horrible. And they want Laurie to watch?
People's faces is just overkill. Yeehaw!
I hate this guy. He's the worst. Let's get Blue. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare.
Don't do this.
I think he's gonna end up walking himself into a trap. I think he's gonna melt. I don't think it's gonna work the way he's hoping it's gonna work. He's trying to recreate how he became Dr. Manhattan, which was an accident. He didn't try to do this. Her version of justice. Oh my god. Whoa! She's like, yeah, I knew this was happening all along. I let you guys steal these things so you thought your plan was working.
Adrian?
She's like, how many ghosts could you see in one day? Oh my god. Adrian's back. Dr. Manhattan's back.
But the night is young.
And it's interesting to see these characters finally all interacting with each other.
Let's let him out, shall we? He's not gonna want to miss this.
Oh, I thought the door was open. Maybe not. I feel like he's gonna be goo. Yep, he's goo. Yep, there's no way he was gonna survive that. Yeah, that's disgusting. I mean, he was the worst, so he just liquefied himself. What did Will write?
Represent the senior leadership of Cyclops,
Oh, shoot!
including this very place, the site of the Greenwood Massacre of 1920.
Oh my gosh.
In the name of white supremacy. Your crimes.
Just do it.
She's like, let me read you this letter. He wrote a beautiful letter.
Oh, yeah. Of course I am.
She's like, I just wanted to read you this letter so you knew how horrible you were of people. Oh my gosh. Yep. She's gonna zap them all. She's like, let's get on with it. Don't waste my time. Oh, man. Oh, lasered. Cheese and rice. Yeah, basically.
What fight?
Oh, oh, that's horrible. Oh, she's gotta watch him die. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's awful.
Is that where we just were?
Yeah.
When's the last time there was an extra-dimensional incursion there?
And it's not like John to show emotion. It's saying he doesn't want to be alone, like that he needs Angela there.
Stop distracting me. I would very much like to save it again.
His version of saving things is a lot different from everybody else's.
I can't hold myself together.
You have to try.
This is literally just him draining the power. Oh my gosh. And now he's just back to his human form. Oh, my heart. Oh. Oh, no, no, no. Dang it. Poor Angela.
Reruns. I'll show her a goddamn rerun.
Nobody insults me. I'm Adrian.
If I freeze them before transport, it'll be like firing a Gatling gun from the heavens.
Oh, that's horrible.
Unum conoscenti. Takes one to know one.
I was gonna say, my Latin's rusty, but I feel like you would definitely recognize a narcissist.
5 square blocks is about to be obliterated.
That's horrible.
No one down there you care about.
And it's so interesting how now it's become revenge of this father against his daughter, and she's finally like, oh, I got my dad back, and he's like, forget you, like, I'm not letting you have this power. Five seconds. Oh my god. And of course she's surrounded by a wall of mirrors for her godlike persona. Cheese and rice. A hole through her hand. Oh my god. She was like, I was busy admiring myself. And now there's a frickin' hole in my hand. She's gonna get squidded. Yo, gotta get in there. What a horrible way to die. My little squid ball. Oh, oh my god. She's... Yeah, and of course, in the background that falls. Oh! The irony of being killed by her own device. She built this monument and then it took her out.
Right after he met you. You take my pills.
She's like, oh yeah, we haven't talked about that yet.
My origin story.
Yeah, it definitely was. And her origin as well.
I was sitting in this exact spot almost 100 years ago.
I was wondering if this was the theater we saw at the beginning.
It had to be. You can't make an omelet without breaking a couple of eggs.
Of course, yeah, there would be an omelet. Yeah, an egg reference. And isn't that what she said to him?
When the time ain't right.
And that's so interesting to have it come full circle with Will back at the theater again.
A couple of nights.
Just for a couple of nights.
I think we all know it'll turn to longer than that. Aw, that's nice of her.
Running, but she should get you back to civilization.
Yes, that's what we saw in the first episode, I believe.
You have no proof.
I do. This is your confession.
Oh, busted.
The world will end.
Yeah. People keep saying...
I was gonna say, they keep saying that, yeah.
People change, Adrian. At least some of us do.
Adrian's like, oh, this backfired.
Who do you think you are to hold judgment over me, huh?
I never thought he would get any any justice for what he did. I thought he would get away with it.
And you have the audacity.
Oh! Bonked him. Good one, Wade.
That guy talks too much.
Wow, Adrian is actually gonna, this got solid proof against him. Crazy. He's gonna go from being stranded on Europa to being stranded in a prison cell. Oh my gosh.
There's a bright golden haze on the meadow.
There's nothing even left of them.
It looks like it's climbing clear up to the...
Of course, Dr. M are the only letters lit up in the background.
Everything's going my way.
And now the kids know. They're gonna find out that she's Sister Night. Yeah. His realization. She's like, oh, yeah, by the way, probably should have told you.
And an old weeping willow is laughing.
Where is she going? I'm very curious. Leaving Tulsa or just going home? Of course, the eggs are still on the floor. Oh my gosh. It's been a heck of a 24 hours.
I got it.
Whew. I'm gonna sleep for 2 straight days.
I feel that.
Okay.
If she puts that device in somebody else... Ugh, squishy egg sounds. Ugh. All right, he said on their first day.
And if I ate it, I could walk on water?
Theoretically, yes.
Yes, they're gonna give Angela his powers, and even Will was like, well, he could have done more with all the powers that he had. Or is she gonna destroy it because nobody should have that power? I don't know, it could go either way. And he said, I need you to see that I'm walking on water. Oh, drinking it straight. Okay. I thought she was going to dump it right into the pool. Everything in your body would tell you not to do this. Oh, in theory, it should work. They're going to cut. I know they're going to leave us hanging, aren't they? Even if it touches the water, that doesn't mean it works. Oh, man. I'm gonna say that it worked. I'm gonna believe that she now has Dr. Manhattan's powers. Maybe just a fraction of them, but some of them. Of course, I am the Eggman. Yeah, they're so smart with their musical choices as well to tie into the show. So that was my first time watching Watchmen episode 9, the series finale. I don't know if there were plans for a second season and it just never came to life. I don't know if they only ever planned to do one season. I feel like they did a good job of keeping it both self-contained and open-ended at the same time. Like, we have that last shot of Angela. To me, she is walking on water. She was able to get some of Dr. Manhattan's powers from that egg. I think you could go either way on it, but that's how I'm choosing to perceive it. So it would have been interesting to have another season to see what she would have done with those powers. I feel like it only would have been a fraction of what Dr. Manhattan would have had, but it still would have been interesting to see her as an actual, like, superhero, if you will, with those powers, as opposed to more of a vigilante who's, you know, obviously still a human, but has limited capabilities as being just human. So very interesting finale. I wasn't surprised cast members were killed off. Obviously, that's something we've seen in season finales before. We had Lady True was killed off. Dr. Manhattan was killed off. Again, whether you want to believe he can be killed, he's such a powerful being, and I feel like having his powers passed on is a way to continue that character as well. The senator was liquefied, but I still feel it holds up well as a self-contained limited run as well, having that last shot with Angela. You know, you can choose what you want to believe, but I think that was a good way to end it, and it was nice to have it come full circle and see Will back at that theater where we all started. I think that was like the very first shot of this season. Will in that theater, you know, watching one of his favorite movies, and as someone who loves movies, it was great to see movies being incorporated into Will's story as well, having that Slate intro with Watchmen and with Adrian creating that film for President Redford, and having them at the theater, obviously, and how the movie that Will was watching inspired him to take on the name Will as well because of the character that he felt such a connection to and wanted to be so like. So that was interesting. I always love it when films or TV shows incorporate cinema back into it. I thought it was a good season finale. We definitely had some wrap-ups for characters, whether they were literally killed off, and even just having that reunion between Angela and Will, I felt like was something we really, really needed. And because they hadn't talked in quite a few episodes, and he's like, oh yeah, did you take those nostalgia pills? I was like, yeah, they haven't seen each other since then, and he'd been with Lady True. So for them to finally reconnect and to find out that he knew Cal and Dr. Manhattan before all of this as well, it sounds like he's going to move in with Angela. So hopefully the two of them can build some kind of relationship, you know, going forward and have this grandfather figure in her life. And since taking the nostalgia pills, she has a huge understanding of what he went through because she lived it and she saw it. So I feel like they don't have to catch up as much, you know, like they've already been there. She knows his story, and it's like even he says, oh, like my origin story, so they can just kind of move forward, so they can start building, you know, a new relationship going forward. And now the kids will have this grandfather in their life as well, which after losing Cal, then that might be something that they need. Topher did find out that Angela is in fact Sister Night, and when they saw, John walking on the pool, they noticed that it was Dr. Manhattan. Whether they've put it together that it was in fact Cal, Topher said, hey, that looks like Cal, so I'm assuming they figured it out, but now they know that Angela was this vigilante, and I'm curious to see what they do with that information, how that conversation's gonna go. But it was interesting to have, even in the final episode, have Topher discover that about his mom. I definitely wasn't expecting Adrian to get arrested at the end of this episode. I was like, it was forever ago, he's gotten away with it this long, there's no way he's ever gonna have to pay for these horrible things that he's done. And even he starts laughing when Laurie's like, I'm gonna arrest you, and he's like, what do you have? Of course Wade has the proof, but the fact that Adrian would be on trial, that makes me want a second season to see him really be put through the ringer and have to come to terms with all of these crimes and to, be punished for the things that he's done. But would it change who he is? No. In his mind, it was justified, and I do believe he would do it again. So it was definitely interesting to see him possibly come to terms with these things, and, they drag him off as that last scene. So we're led to believe, there would be some kind of trial, he would be charged, and he was like, well, you're going to arrest the president? And they're like, yeah, like if he did these things, they would pursue that. So it was interesting to see him feel like he's so invincible, even going after all of these things, and he still killed people. Like those frozen squids killed people. So it was just him thinking that he can, in his mind, justify it, and that was good enough for him. And he didn't really care about the actual law of the world. Finding out that Lady True was in fact Adrian's daughter was a very weird twist of fate, but then when you think about it, you're like, okay, they're both very similar. They're both very, driven and narcissistic and, obsessive with their goals. And to see Lady True standing there in that like wall of mirrors basically, and to be crushed by her own device, it was just, of course, the most ironic thing that the machine created is in fact what ends up killing her, from her dad also, playing a part in it. But that was her huge plan, was to build this thing, have these powers, become like a god, and to have that dream crushed, and to see that image, in the background fall as she's literally, her dream is falling at the same time, and the shot of the squid going through her hand, and just her realizing that for once things aren't going as planned. I feel up until this point, she's got everything she's wanted. Things have gone exactly how she's predicted. She is very, very smart and knew what was happening and was able to, think of a plan. So she let the cavalry, think they were going to do this Dr. Manhattan when really they were just doing the grunt work for her. She's like, thanks, I'll take it from here. Like, don't worry, I got it. And just so clever. And ultimately that ended up being her downfall. She didn't take into consideration that her dad would retaliate against her. And it was interesting to see Adrian become self-aware that he is so narcissistic. I think he's not going to stop. He may recognize that he has those tendencies, but he's not going to stop what he's doing. He's always going to be like that. He's never going to change. And even him saying that Latin phrase, it takes one to know one. He's like, I recognize these qualities because I have them. And when he was brought back to Earth and he was covered in that gold, for a second I thought that she had turned him into that statue, which we had seen at some point in the show. I know there's a scene where Angela and Lady True are talking and looking at that statue, so I thought Lady True had killed Adrian and solidified him in this gold statue, which just seemed like a horrible fitting death for Adrian to be forever, entombed in this gold statue, to be idolized, which is what he wanted this whole time. But that turns out just to be how she transported him, covering him in this gold. And again, gold and purple, those colors have very, very significant meanings throughout royalty and throughout history. We did see a photo of President Redford in the newspaper, but we never got to meet his character. I was wondering if we ever would throughout the series, and he played such a big part with him and Adrian and this plan and Wade's backstory and millions of other people. So it would have been interesting to see him. I don't think we would have needed to. He didn't need to have like his own arc or anything like that. But yeah, I'm curious if he has a bigger role in the comic books. I'm very curious to read the source material now that I've seen the show. It definitely goes a lot deeper, obviously, than the movie did, as they had 9 episodes and 9 hours to explore, as opposed to one movie. If there are huge differences between the show and the comic books, comment below and let me know. But yeah, now that I've seen it, I'm very curious to learn more about it. And I don't know in the show how far they would have got in the comics, if there's 10 issues or 30 issues of the comic and they only made it up to like a certain halfway point. I'm not too sure. They did did mention wearing masks a few times in this episode, which I think is interesting considering it's a show about vigilantes. We have Will say, you can't heal under a mask, which I feel like is a big step for his character, considering he started off as Hooded Justice, was hiding behind a mask, and then, he's telling this to Angela, like, you have to process these things, you can't keep hiding from them. And when Adrian's saying, like, masks makes people evil, that's why I gave you this mask, I'm not surprised that the warden turned out to be somebody Adrian just created. We found out in the previous episode he was, one of the first Lake babies, so the fact that Adrian was bored and decided, oh, I need a nemesis, who can be the hero if there's no nemesis, like, I have to have somebody to battle, basically. So he's like, well, I'll give him a mask and that'll set him apart from the others. And this whole guy's backstory was a complete fabrication from Adrian, who's created just endless things to entertain himself because he's just been there for so long. And killing him with the horseshoe, if you're familiar with horseshoes, they're usually a symbol of good luck, so to see it be used as a tool for Adrian digging himself out and then end up killing that guy at the end, it was just very bizarre. I don't know what the significance of the horseshoe is in the comic books. Obviously, it was very important to Adrian's storyline. We've seen eggs prevalent throughout this entire series. Obviously very prevalent in this last episode as well, as, I thought, man, why is he making waffles? That seems bizarre. And then, as Angela smashes all the eggs, that one should have broke. She very aggressively smashed them all on the ground. Why would one make it? And then we find out that, in fact, that's what he put his powers into. John obviously knew he was going to die and, tried to do something to pass on some of his powers. Whether he would be able to come back through that ring, I'm not too sure. I was wondering if that ring was put into another person, would he be able to brought back to life? But that ring also caused the amnesia, so I don't know if it stores any memory or anything like that, but Angela kept it, so yeah, I'd be curious to see if there was continuations at some point, what that would be used for. Dr. Manhattan was usually very stoic. He wasn't one to, emote a lot. He would just state facts, very literal. So to hear him say that he regretted what happened in Vietnam was interesting. He's like, I was just trying to be what everybody wanted me to be, so it kind of plays into, okay, maybe he has these insecurities that he's not living up to other people's expectations. To see him ask Angela to stay at the end because he knows he's gonna die, he doesn't want to die alone, like, those are big human things, and he's not usually one to share those, so it's interesting to think that he's been feeling them this whole time and just decides not to discuss them. He always seemed very preoccupied with other things, science, mathematics, all of these things, the world ending, he seemed very focused on creating life and didn't really seem concerned about human compassion or human emotions. So it was definitely interesting to see that, especially in the last episode. It was cool to see the characters finally interacting with each other that we hadn't seen in a while or at all. Laurie gets to see Dr. Manhattan again, and, obviously it was very short-lived, but the fact that she got to see him one last time, we know she had been trying to call him on Mars, and obviously he wasn't actually there, but the fact that she gets to see him, and 2 seconds later Adrian shows up, she's like, am I dead? Like, all these people that I thought had, disappeared ages ago, like, she hadn't seen Adrian in 20-30 years or something like that, and now suddenly he's back. So it was definitely interesting to see these characters finally come back together that we've seen, in their separate storylines throughout the series. Overall, I really enjoyed the series. I thought it was so well done. Like I said, I'm very curious to read the source material and see how it compares, but even on its own, without knowing anything about the comics, I had seen the movie, but that was my only real introduction to these characters before I started, and it was great to learn more about their backstories. I thought each character was so well developed, and having these nostalgia pills, I loved all the technology when they go to the Greenwood Center and this family tree, and Lady True creating this giant clock, and the flying spaceship we had in the first episode, and just so many cool pieces of tech and props that were used, and just really cool concepts that I feel like you could explore on their own really in depth. And I think that's what makes a really good show, is one that you can continue to talk about and that you're thinking about a few days later. I definitely feel like this is a show you can watch again and see pieces and clues of things that you missed while you're watching the first time, like even the theater sign, it said Dreamland Theater, and then as Angela's walking away it says Dr. M, which I feel like is a pretty, obvious nod to Dr. Manhattan. So I feel like there's tons of those little pieces. The song choices were always very relevant to what was happening. Mr. Blue 2, which again would be Dr. Manhattan. So really cool, really well done. And I love shows that have thought through every little detail. I love that they could interact with the opening credits and the title of the episode being, you know, a big piece in the shot that they would walk through and stuff like that. Just those little details I think really make it stand out. In my opinion, Angela now has Dr. Manhattan's powers. What she's gonna do with them, I feel like she would use them for good. I definitely feel like Lady True took after her father. I feel like that power would have gone to her head and she would have started justifying doing horrible things, much like Adrian. You know, in his mind, everything he's done has been, you know, perfectly fine. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. And I feel like she would have taken over that aspect of it as well. And I don't know at what point her limitations would have set in or if she would have been limitless. Definitely themes of race and identity and family throughout this series, and I thought it was a visually stunning show, so well done, such creative shots, the slow motion stuff, the black and white episode, so cool, just really well done. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Vials of something else that she just replaced with lotion. Helped herself to your samples. Finally dug himself out. The horseshoe! Oh, what an unfortunate twist of fate. Well, he broke his promise. He said he would never call her daughter. Blasted him with gold. Of course they're playing Oklahoma. This is the last time I'll be in this flesh. I feel like it's gonna be goo. I was wondering if this was the theater we saw at the beginning.